Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, season 15 episode. I can't even tell you. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, we see Lindy and Miguel, and honey, no episode will be complete without Miguel cooking for Lindy. Nate getting his smell good on, honey putting the cologne of it all on. Kristen is brushing the doggy, and Ben is back in action working out. Kristen and Mitch. So he FaceTimes his friend Shayna. He was like, me and Shayna were very close. We spent quarantine together because, she was in my bubble. And so, she just, she's going to tell me what I need to know. And she knows everything about me. So he tells her that he and Kristen with the Y were getting it in, and he joked, and she felt a certain kind of way and called him out. Now he feels a certain kind of way because he feels like he can only be one way in bed. Mitch, okay? Nobody wants to play during Mr. Nasty time. Nobody, okay? Now look, I'm known to tell a joke or two, but I'm not getting it in and telling no stand-up comedy jokes in the middle of it. It ain't gonna happen. Because if I do, honey, I'm uninterested. Okay, I'm just telling you like that. And I am certain that you said something distasteful, honey, and probably poking fun at her and whatever else, child. You know you can't be trusted. So his friend did offer him some sound advice. Just listen to Kristen and basically treat her with some respect, child. Thank you, Shayna, for getting him all the way together. Moving forward, Stasha and Nate. So Dr. Pia is making her rounds. Hey girl, nice to see you again. And so they sit down and she asked how they are since the last time she saw them. And Stasha said, last time they weren't so good, but they're working through it. Side note, when is Devon coming? Okay. Like, I know that they said that he was going to be on this season as an expert. Not that we need him. Okay. I'm just wondering. I'm just curious. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So Nate tells Stasha that he wants her to articulate how she's not trusting him and why she's not trusting him. He wants her to define what her trust issues are, because that's going to make him pull away over time if she keep on saying she don't trust him. She don't trust her boy. Y'all remember when Nate was like, you don't trust your boy? No, we don't trust your boy, honey. We don't know you, honey. And I mean, you do kind of give scammer. So there's that. So she said that, she doesn't trust people or anything if she cannot fact check it. So if you tell her something, she has to be able to get on the Googler. Honey, somebody got to tell her it's real. Okay. Because otherwise she's not listening to it. So Dr. Pia is like, do you think that is tied to control? It is. So she's letting her know that she thinks that it is tied to control. And she gives them an exercise where Stasha has to completely trust Nate and relinquish all control to him. Child, she is going to freak the hell out, honey. I don't know if she's going to be able to go all the way through with it, honey, without giving her 2 cents. Y'all know how Stasha is. But she did say she was going to really try to do it, and she was going to take baby steps. So, child, we'll see how this going to go. Alexis and Justin. Child, oh my goodness. When I tell you Alexis was working the last piece of the nervous system that I have, and when I tell y'all working it, I mean working it. So she's talking to Justin, honey, about wanting 2 hours with her girls. So they're going back and forth about that. And she's like, I don't go out and stay out late. It's like 2 hours. He's like, but baby, you go out every weekend. Girl, every weekend is excessive. Now I understand wanting to see your friends and everything, honey, but every single weekend? She's like, well, at first you said it was cool and now you about to smother me? That's what you're not about to do. You're not about to smother me. Ma'am, you can't be in the streets every weekend. Maybe you should have been with Jared from Love is Blind, child, because he like to be in the street every night. You like to be in the street every night. So maybe y'all can get together and be in the street together. That's the first person I thought about when she kept saying, well, I mean, it's only 2 hours. It's only 2 hours. He 2-houred his way out of his marriage. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's what you're trying to do. You should just go ahead and let Justin know that on decision day you will be saying no because you're still in the street. So Dr. Pia arrives and she was like, hey, what's going on in here? I heard a little bit of commotion. And child, what kind of walls y'all got? So they share with Dr. Pia what's going on. And so Justin is like, okay, listen, Peep this. Alexis goes to the club every weekend. Now, I'm not saying she can't go out, but why you gotta go to the club? She's like, okay, thank you. Let me speak right quick. That sounds great. And it sounds like you're such a stand-up guy and everything, but it's not always the club, okay? Sometimes I go to brunch. I just like to hang out with my friends. Alexis, you can do that after decision day, honey, because you're going to say no. So just wait, girl. Just wait. So Dr. Pia wants to know, why in this short amount of time would you want to be out every single weekend when you're supposed to be getting to know this strange man that you don't want to be married to? And we knew you didn't want to be married to him on that honeymoon, but you were fooling around and excited to be in Mexico and was saying things that you didn't mean. And now he wants you to live up to your word the same way you want him to live up to those vows. Girl. Moving forward. So she's like, well, I think it's unfair that, you want a person to be with you 24 hours a day. I just think that's unfair. She's like, I need some of my independence. So Dr. Pia is telling her that she doesn't think Justin is asking for 24/7. She's like, but what I'm hearing from you is I'm going out whether you like it or not. Okay. All up and through this marriage, I'm going to be out. So you can take it or you can leave it. Exactly. And you know what? I'm liking Dr. Pia. She get to the real, okay? She not about that fluff. And her eyebrows were furled up the entire time, though. I'm like, Dr. Pia, relax, girl. Baby, them facial expressions. When I tell you she was furled up at every single consultation, she know these people are nuts. She know it. So anyway, I'm liking Dr. Pia. It was one part where I was like, girl, no. Okay, what you're saying right now, what you're doing right now, it's a no. But so far, I'm liking them. Anyway, Alexis want to stay in the street because she's not into Justin or she's not happy at home, honey. Ma'am, you don't like that man. She's like, I don't want to be with somebody 24/7. I feel like that's a bit controlling. You know what I think is so strange? You did not want Justin near your dog, yet you're in the street every single weekend and Justin is at home with your dog while his dog is in Michael Myers prison. Okay. And I'm never going to forget the way that man looked. Well, I didn't see him, child, but I saw his shoes. I'm never going to forget it. I'm never going to forget the grounds. And that alone is a no for me. Okay. That's a no for me, big dog. So Dr. Pia said, well, why do you think you were ready to be married? She was like, because I'm really trying. I've never tried this hard. And that's not me. She's like, in his vows, he said I could be free, but I can't be free if he wants to be with me 24/7. Dr. Pia said, okay, well, let me ask you, do you want to be married to Justin specifically? She's like, I don't know. No. And there you have it. Justin, pack up your blouses and your boots and go get your damn dog out of that doggy jail. Alexis is not the one, honey. You could have been spending time with Maya while she's out every weekend. So she got you to turn your life upside down, get rid of your damn dog, only to tell you that she is going to be with her friends no matter what. You can take it or you can leave it. But when it was you in a situation, you had to make the ultimate sacrifice. Alexis is selfish, honey. Straight up selfish. So she was like, Justin, what is it like to hear that? So he was like, I put her as my beneficiary. So, for me, I was moving forward, making plans. He's like, I feel like, yes, she's a catch, but I'm a catch too. And I don't feel like I should be an option. I know that's right. Then here comes Alexis saying that, I just tried so hard with him. Even after his dog attacked Newton, I still was trying. I really did. Dr. Pia said, well, but his dog isn't here, right? I know that's right, honey. And yes, you did try. And he tried and did by sending his damn dog away, never to return. And Dr. Pia, I'm happy you picked that up, honey. No, his dog is nowhere in attendance. Child, this is a whole fool. Baby, Dr. Pia said, this ain't Dr. Pepper. Baby, Dr. P ain't playing. She's like, yeah, well, he was also trying. He was also giving. So Dr. Pia said, listen, I'm exhausted just listening to everything that you guys are going through. So I'm just wondering, is this the reason why you haven't had sex? So then she asked Alexis why she thinks they haven't had sex. She goes on this long diatribe saying the conversation is not conducive to her mental health. She's like, I just feel dismissed by the both of you. And basically, she's throwing a tantrum because Dr. Pia didn't come in and say, Justin, 2 hours a week ain't bad. And that's what she was hoping to hear. But Dr. Pia was like, girl, you got to be in the house. You don't even know this man good yet. So the time that you're supposed to be getting to know him in this experiment, you out in the club? Girl, what? Where they do that at? That's basically what type of time Dr. Pia was on. So Dr. Pia's like, so how are you suffering mentally right now? She's like, I feel isolated. I feel unheard. I feel alone. Alexis ain't nothing but a gaslighter, child. Ain't nothing but a gaslighter. So while she doing that, Justin is taking his ring off. Honey, as he should. Because she just said she didn't want to be married to him. So what are you keeping it on for? So she's like, just because I want to hang out with my friends for 2 hours a week, now I'm an unfit wife? That's obscene. Dr. Pia said, where did you hear that you were an unfit wife? Let's be real. Nobody goes to a club, a hookah lounge, a brunch spot, or whatever you are doing for only 2 hours. You're trying to put out this number so that you can lessen the blow. I don't think for a second that you start a timer. When you get there, you stop the timer and you're back home at the 2-hour mark. Alexis, you can miss me with that, honey. You ain't fooling me. Okay, when you go out and you into it and you drinking them bottomless mimosas and you and your friends talking and getting into it as y'all get into it, baby, that lasts hours, honey. Hours and hours. Girl, hours. Baby, hours, honey. I don't want to hear nothing about it, child. It's a lie and the truth ain't in it. The point is, your husband is feeling isolated and alone during that time that you were in the street, okay? And he don't have his damn dog. So there's that. She's like, there's never been any resolution. Alexis, 2 hours isn't bad. Maybe we can just switch up and do this and do that. But you just switched it over to intimacy. Yes, she did, because she knows that you're on that bull. And that's why she went on ahead with what she needed to say. So then Alexis was like, so we just going to go to bed mad. He said, no, that's not why we going to go to bed mad. We're going to go to bed mad because you just said you don't want to be married to me. He's like, you don't think that hurts? So Dr. P is like, so your ring is off? Did you see that, Alexis? She said, oh, I'm not surprised. Oh, okay, so they must play this game all the time. She take her ring off, he take his ring off. Baby, that's a dangerous game to play. Do y'all hear me? Dangerous. Because one day you going to take that thing off and you ain't going to never put it back on. So he told her that when she said that, she affected his emotions. And she's like, well, that's my truth, babe. Girl, gone. So Dr. P told him, taking the ring off symbolizes how he was feeling. And Alexis said, me saying that just meant that I'm not ready to continue in the state that we're in. Not that I'm going to stop trying. Oh my gosh. Alexis, you with the semantics. Honey, listen, you don't want to be married to the man. You said what you meant. You said what you said and you ain't changing it. Okay. You don't want to be married to Justin. You don't. So Dr. Pia is like, okay, so you're going to try? She was like, yeah, I'm going to try. He was like, well, actions speak louder than words. He said, I just feel like her friends come first. Her dog come first. And that's just what it's going to be. She going to hang out with her friends if she don't do nothing else. She's like, yeah, but you never said I couldn't go. Like, this is the first time that I'm hearing this. You never said no. He said, okay. So if I told you you couldn't go, then what were you going to say? She was like, I wouldn't go. Alexis, no, you would have cried. Okay. You would have manipulated him. You would have tried to talk him into it. And then you would have turned around and said he was controlling. So please stop acting like if you looked at this man and said, hey, is it cool that I go out with Pam and Tina? And he said no, you would be like, oh, okay, well, let me let him know it's a no. Girl, please. Moving forward. Lindy and Miguel. So they're at home and they get a delivery from the stork. Okay, they drop them off a little baby. They drop them off a mock baby for them to practice with, right? So, child, Lindy names the baby McGindy. Okay, child. Not McGindy, honey. And so Miguel gonna go with it. So he said, I'm really excited to get the baby. I want to have a baby sooner rather than later. So, this is good practice. So they're doing this intimacy exercise all while being new parents. I'm telling you right now, intimacy gonna have to wait with a newborn. It's gonna have to wait. It's sad, but it's true. That baby gonna be crying, pooping, breathing, sniffing and snorting. All kinds of stuff gonna be happening, okay? Your mind ain't gonna be right. You're gonna be sleep deprived, honey. Intimacy exercises ain't happening with a newborn baby. You'll be lucky to kiss each other at the end of the night because you're gonna be too tired. I'm just telling you. So they start the exercise and Lindy takes her first body shot ever in life. So then there was another part of the exercise that said gaze into each other's eyes. So they both did that. And while they were doing that, they were both thinking about their wedding day. I feel like they're really in a good space, but child, we know how things can turn very quickly on Married at First Sight. So Lindy and Miguel both agree that they're living their best love story. And this is the thing about these two. I hope that they're actually dealing with real life issues and not just sweeping them under the rug, because last time Lindy totally lost it. And I think Miguel is trying to avoid the hard topics because he does not want that to happen again. I mean, they recovered, but it's more tough conversations to be had. And I feel like we just jumping past that. Kristen and Mitch. So Dr. P is at their place and she asked about trust, and they both said they trust each other. Dr. Pia wants them to play a card game. So child Mitch reads the question, honey, just barely. It asks, who was your childhood hero or heroine? But honey, he's talking about heroine. Child, she in. Child, just read the question, honey. So he talked about these action movies and seeing the hero save the day. And he said he would, watch those movies and want to emulate them. So that was, who he deemed his childhood hero. And I was thinking he was going to say his dad, because we all know how much he loved his dad. But he said, the guys in the movie. So Kristen said her mom. Basically, she's the epitome of a hardworking woman and being successful. She's like, yes, my mom's a baddie. Oh, trust me. Mitch remembers, honey. He could barely keep his mouth closed when he saw her. Kristen's mom has got it going on. I ain't gonna never forget it. So she's speaking so highly of her mom. Here go Mitch. Talking about, not to challenge you, but did you answer about your childhood hero? Yes, she did, dude. Why are you interjecting and asking dumb questions? She clearly stated that her mom raised them as a single mom. That tells you from childhood, because is she not raised already? Like, boy, she said she admired her strength. I can't stand how anal Mitch is. She listened to you and your superhero cartoon stories, yet you question what her answer is and if she answered it correctly. See, this is why she be getting mad at you, Mitch. This is why she be getting mad. So she was like, yes. So Dr. Pia picked up on that and she's like, what's that all about? What's going on? She said, you don't challenge someone's answer about their childhood hero. Like, who does that? Like, he could have just said, oh, great story, or that's awesome. But he didn't. Okay, he's being Mitch. Child, Mitch just can't help himself. And that would have annoyed me as well. It's like that thing that people say when they're talking to you. Like, after they say something to you, like, let's just say someone tells me, and then go ahead and upload your video. Do you understand? Am I making sense? Do you understand? Like, what? Yes, you're making sense. Yes, I understand. If I didn't comprehend, I would follow up with a question. I hate when people say that. You understand? Does that make sense? Oh my God, child, I don't know if it's just me, honey, but that annoys me to no end. Please stop asking me if that makes sense. Okay, you asking me if that makes sense don't make no sense. Moving forward. So she gets super emotional and says that was a very vulnerable thing for her to share. And, he took it in, and Dr. P is like, oh, okay, well, you guys talked through it. That was great. Well, Mitch always says sorry, and he always says he understands, and then he always does the same thing over again. So there's that. So then they pick another card, and the question is, how do you think your children will be? He's like, you mean our children together? Nah, your children and Dr. Pia. Yes, your children together. So she's like, what other kids would you be talking about? Okay, I'm starting to think Mitch is missing a few marbles, honey. Oh, child. So they both said they feel like they would have the best of both worlds, a rule follower and a rule breaker. So then she asked about the sex, and he said they put the brakes on it for a couple of weeks because he liked to play in the bed, honey, and not role play. He liked to play all day, and nobody wants to hear jokes, so there's a pause. Mitch, nobody wants to be hearing improv during sex. Okay, nobody. So Kristen said, if she had the Mitch that she had last week, then she would be all in, and she would be more than willing to be intimate because he was vulnerable, he was open, he allowed her to be her, and she wants more of that. Lindy and Miguel. So child Miguel is still holding the baby. Y'all, I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else has noticed, but does Lindy do anything? She doesn't work, or she barely works. I haven't seen her hold the baby once. He's always cooking. Okay, I just don't ever see Lindy doing anything. I don't know if that's just me that's noticing it, but she does nothing. Poor Miguel, honey, he gonna have to do it all, child. Please wait on having a baby. It's not always the woman that gets left with all the responsibilities. In this relationship, it seems like it would be the exact opposite. So the baby starts crying, and these two are trying to figure out how to make it stop. So they finally figure out how to do it. after Lindy gives the baby a bottle. So the baby is making a sucking noise, right? Here go Lindy. What is that? I think it's glitching. Girl, it is definitely not glitching. It's sucking on the bottle. But a word to the wise, okay? Lindy, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. The baby is either hungry, sleepy, dopey, happy, poopy, or pissing, okay? It's one of those. So the baby is sucking the bottle, as I said, and she thinks it's glitching. And she's like, yeah, but I'm going to be breastfeeding. He said, oh, you want to practice that? Miguel always getting fresh. But to be honest, the real thing is something that you can never fully prepare for. I don't care how many, my buddy babies they give you. Whatever happens with this baby, it's going to be 15 times worse when you have your first. And then you overanalyze everything. If they sneeze too hard, you're at the pediatrician. If they look to the left, you're wondering, you're on Google trying to figure out, is this the time that they look to the left? Why isn't the baby sleeping? Is the sleep regression? Is the sleep progression? Honey, what is happening? I went crazy. Okay. And I still do. Even though he's 7, I'm still like, are you okay? Let mommy feel your chest. Let me feel your head. He's like, mommy, please back up. Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your Charlie want me to leave him the hell alone. Oh, honey. 16 days until decision day. Kristen and Mitch. So she asks, what would you do if you caught me watching corn? He's like, that probably would be me. And Charlie, I can see you too. Stasha and Nate are getting frisky. She's licking his salty neck and whatnot. And then the entire time, McGindy is losing it. Child, they having a time with this baby. Do y'all hear me? Kristen and Mitch. So he's telling her about what happened after his dad died. He said he moved to San Diego, started the sunscreen business, and it didn't go well. He said it really was a low point for him in his life, but it led to him doing what he's doing now. So, of course, Kristen reassured him and spoke life into his dreams and, gave him a pat on the back for at least trying. She's so kind. She's too good for Itchy Mitchy. Mitch, this is how Kristen wants you to respond to her. Okay, got it? Good. So then they ask, what is your favorite sex position? So they both chose doggy style. So they start talking about the sex and Kristen being on top. And he's like, yeah, I like when you're on top because I don't have to do much work. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Listen to me, Lifetime. I'm speaking directly to y'all. I do not need the visual of Mitch hunching. I do not. Y'all know what's so ironic to me though? That Kristen wanted sex at first, and now he can't wait to have sex with her, but she does not want to be bothered. I bet next time he won't get in that bed acting like he got his own HBO comedy special. Moving forward. Morgan and Ben. Child, I'm surprised she even showed up. She showed to be looking sharp for somebody just getting off work, honey. I'm starting to think you just go home, put them scrubs on, and show up on the scene so we can believe that you're a nurse and you ain't fooling me. Allegedly. So baby, she showed up or whatever with her little mean self. Ben, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to hear you apologize and trying to get back into her good graces and stuttering and doing all that you like to do. Stand up for yourself and realize that it's not all you. Okay? So Dr. Pia arrives and she asks how things were since the last time she saw them. So Morgan was like, it's been disappointing. Then she starts with the waterworks. And she said, she wanted the partner. She feels like she didn't get the partner that was going to have her back. She's been in defense mode because he will say things to make everybody think that he's such a good guy. And he will just leave her out there to defend, to fend for herself. And he's been going around saying negative things about her. Morgan, this is all I want to know. How much longer are you going to milk this? How much longer? The man has apologized. So Dr. Pia was like, well, it seems like you've been vindictive. He's like, can you explain vindictive to me? She's like, she's saying that you purposely told untruths. So how do you expect a person to react? He's like, I expect the person to call me out and, be aggressive. No. You shouldn't expect your spouse to be overly aggressive with you when you make a mistake. No. Being, absolutely not. And Dr. Pia, you just gonna sit there and when he says that he thinks it's okay for her to be overly aggressive? So she was like, I think are you intimidated by her? Honey, and is. So he said, Morgan has the same temperament as my dad and it's very triggering. Okay, now that he said that, that's where we need to start. Morgan talks at him and she's a bully. Okay, and I'm not changing that. Those are my feelings about Morgan. And we need to hone in on that. We need to delve into what triggers him when Morgan goes off. Not just skip on past it, but honey, she did. Morgan is like, well, maybe I could have made a safe space for him or just changed my verbiage, Yeah, but you sat around waiting to cause a scene. You're super combative and you know it. And you would not have created the safe space. You couldn't wait to go off on him. And that's exactly what you did. She's like, I feel like this has been happening since the beginning though, since day one. And you've also been lying since day one, but we keep on overlooking that. And you're making sure that the viewers overlook it because you keep crying about being in his mistakes. But you ain't fooling me. Okay? We see each other. Morgan, you are really a piece of work, honey. She's like, I don't know how I could have made him not lie to me. What could the experts have done to make you not lie to them? You ain't getting away with this. Not with me. Now, you might get away with it on any other channel, honey, but you are not going to get off scot-free over here. You are just as responsible as Ben. And that's just that on that. So Ben is trying to explain how he can better apologize. Child, this is hard to watch. Ben stumbling over his words, afraid to talk to her. Child, please just end this. Just end it. So she's like, what I need is a genuine apology. She's like, you say you feel guilty, but I don't feel like you feel guilty. So you want him to grovel. You really want to stick the knife in and twist it. Okay, you really want to stick it to him. If you see him feel it, then that'll make you feel better. Dr. Pia, I don't think we should let Morgan place all the blame on Ben because she has some responsibility in it as well. And everyone who has encountered her besides Nate is afraid to call her out. Shout out to Nate. Moving forward. So Ben is like, it's very hard for me to articulate my words, but I want her to be happy. Child, she loves to see him stumped. Her personality is just a no for me. It's just a no. Moving forward. Alexis and Justin. So they're talking and it's time for Alexis to manipulate him. And she said, she got excited because in his vows, when he said that she could be free, it's like now that he's being challenged, he's taking it back. He's like, it's okay to go out, but I don't want you to forget about me. Like when I said be free, yes, I want you to be you. I want you to show your personality, but not leave me behind. She's like, well, I guess I just want to know what free means. Exactly what he explained. He was like, that I want you to be free, but not forget about me. He feels like it's okay to just sit down sometime. He was like, girl, it's okay to just Netflix and chill. Like it's okay to rest your body. Sit yourself in a seat. Watch TV. It's fine. He wants her to have a balance. She's like, oh, okay. Well, I feel like you underestimate the turn up because I can turn up Tuesday through Saturday. Well, first of all, girl, that ain't cute. Okay. And if that's the case, then you need to stay single. Saying to your spouse, I could be worse, is not a resolve. Do you see how that sounds? It doesn't help the other person feel good for you to say, oh, well, you don't really know how I could turn up. I'm being nice to you. If you're going out every weekend already, how are you working and going out and expect to sustain a marriage? Girl, goodbye. Moving forward. So then they get to the next question. What upsets you the most in the relationship? And she was like, when you're not transparent. I don't feel like I really know you. He said, how? She said, it's not the same from the honeymoon. And I just want to know that you got my back. How has he not shown you that he has your back? How? He said he feels like she doesn't understand him. Girl, just say you mad because you feel like he's reneging on them vows. And you thought that you were going to be able to be single and be married at the same damn time. 15 days until decision day. Mitch and Kristen with the Y. So it's time for them to practice their intimacy. Honey, do we have to watch? Dr. Pia gave them exercises to be intimate without words. So child, they feeling on each other and whatnot. Child, looking at Mitch grin like a Cheshire cat shows me that he is just as awkward as he want to be in that bedroom. Do y'all hear me? And he ain't fooling me. Stasha and Nate. Child, it is time for Nate to take complete control. Nate done took Stasha to Candy's sex dungeon. Baby, shout out to Candy. Baby, he done took her to the sex dungeon. There's sex swings. So Stasha is like, have you tried that? He said no. It's definitely a yes. Okay. They told you at the wedding, girl, he was a freak. So Nate took this time of being in complete control to tie Stasha to the bed, blindfold her, and squirt whipped cream in her mouth. So then Nate gets straight rated R, honey, and puts the blanket over his head and gets ready to go down in between her legs. I'm like, oh, honey, listen to me. It's giving Skinamax, first of all. Now, I'm no prude, but I was watching with my hands over my eyes, honey, peeking barely through, honey. We don't need to be privy to all this erotic combustion, honey, as Dr. Pepper would say. We don't need to be privy to it. We really don't. I really think he should have used the exercise to do something else where he was in control. Like this sex, if those cameras weren't there, Stasha with it. You don't have to be in complete control because whatever you wish she with. Especially in that bed. Honey, I knew it when y'all had that shower scene. And wasn't nobody in control then, except them cameras. I feel like you should have done something different. Alexis and Justin. Child, I almost don't even want to see them even talk to each other, let alone talk about some intimacy. So she has a stripper pole in the kitchen. She's like, yeah, I just want to break the ice. So she starts doing this P-Valley rendition. But baby, she done pushed his chair so far away. They so far away from each other. Sir, it's okay, per the CDC, to get closer to your wife. If you live in the same house, you do not have to give them 6 feet, honey. Oh, child, this is a mess. This was awful. Do you hear me? Awful. Child, all that clubbing and that's all you got? Anywho, Justin, what man would be that far away from his wife? That's what I want to know. So after that failed attempt, they sit down on the couch and Justin asks to play the blindfold game. It's where you put on a blindfold, they speak their truth, no interruptions, and you have to listen. So she puts on the blindfold first. So he starts to say that, he does appreciate her. He says all the nice things first. He appreciates her for trying, for being who she is, but he feels that he's number 2 next to her friends and, he's offended by that. He doesn't think she's ready to be married. He's frustrated. She hasn't asked how he feels regarding Maya. And if the tables were turned, she wouldn't have given up her dog and they want different things in their marriage. And he's questioning their marriage at this point. And now he's proceeding with caution. And I'm going to say this. Justin, Maya is your fault. Maya was your dog. So you could have chosen to fight for your dog. But you chose to fight for Alexis instead. And now you're resenting her because of a decision that you made. You should have said no. So then it's her turn. And she was like, well, I know I'm a great woman. And even if you're not happy, I'm sure that I'm going to make somebody else extremely happy. I'm thankful for you. And I'm thankful for what you taught me and the time that we spent together. And, your family is wonderful. And that's all I got. Girl, you might as well have said, but my decision is not to stay married. Because, honey, that was definitely a farewell speech. So in the interview, she's like, I know it felt good for him to get his emotions out, so I let him have his moment. I just didn't want to overshadow that. Alexis is a phony. She is a phony. She allowed him to say all that only so she can argue with him about it later. And she's not fooling me. It's crazy how all of her speech was about how great she is and how great she will be for someone else. She was like, yeah, I didn't think I had to say anything because I've been straightforward for weeks. So if he thinks that I'm not ready to be married, then maybe he isn't the man for me. Alexis, you literally said you didn't know if you were ready to be married to Justin. Girl, what is wrong with you? Oh, child. 14 days until decision day. So Lindy and Miguel still got this baby. Lindy is like, he's quiet every 2 hours. But Miguel got up to take care of him. Child, that's typical. So Kristen tells us that the ladies are getting ready to meet up. So the women go to the beach and the men go play basketball. Child, Miguel even took the baby to the court. Baby, Lindy is hands off for real. Do you hear me? Miguel, you cannot lead this baby on the sideline while you play a little b-ball. Okay, so I don't know how this gonna work. You must just be spectating at this point. So they all want to know how everybody else is doing. And they want to know why Miguel has this baby. He was like, well, they gave it to us because there are other levels of intimacy. I do think it's cute how Miguel is really taking such pride in being a great dad. Even though it's a fake baby, he is really all in. And I love that. I really, really do. Back over with the ladies, Stasha is like, girl, what's up with this baby? And in her mind, she probably thinking, how can I get one, honey? Because I need Nate to know I can be good around kids. So she's like, well, girl, with him having that baby, it's really turning me on. But in the confessional, she's like, I don't know if this baby is on demon mode, but it just won't stop crying. It cries every 2 hours. No, it's on baby mode because that's what real babies do. Okay, they want to eat every few hours. They wake up all through the night. You'll never sleep again. I have not slept good in 7 years. And now I used to be a real heavy sleeper. I used to be a really heavy sleeper. Now you can drop cotton on the floor and I am going to wake up. Everything okay? Baby, are you okay? Like, girl, your whole life changes. So then they move over to Ben with the men and they're asking, what's going on with Morgan? And child, nothing. So he's scared to talk. So finally he spits it out and says that she wants an emotional apology. And they said, what the hell is that? Child, that's what I want to know. What the hell is that? So Nate is telling Ben, listen, is she going to be able to emotionally receive it? Because right now, she's not going to believe nothing you got to say because she's guarded. Back over with Morgan, she's saying, I get no emotional response from Ben. Girl, he was trying to respond to you and you ate him alive. What more emotion do you want? Do you want him to cut off a limb or something? Like, what do you want from him? So Stasha is like, well, girl, if you get it, you're not going to want it. You're not going to think it's genuine. So what is the point? Exactly. What is the point? There is not one. Okay. She just wants to see him grovel. That's the point. It's some kind of self-serving, self-satisfying bullshit. Okay. She doesn't really want the apology. She just wants to see him sweat. It's like, I'm going to punish you for doing what you did. And I'm going to continue to punish you until I feel better about it. So Lindy is like, I really feel angry for you because you're so emotionally mature. Lindy, I know you grew up sheltered and whatnot, but there is nothing about Morgan that is emotionally mature. You need to worry about that baby. Okay, don't worry about this over here because you're saying stuff that don't even make no sense. And the way that you're responding to Morgan lets me further know that Morgan has shared things with you. But she gonna lie because that's what she does because she got a little lying problem. Moving forward. Back over with him, he's like, she's intimidating. So Mitch was like, listen, I feel like, yeah, he did things wrong and I'm not taking that away, but he's taking all the blame, and that's not fair because Ben is actually a good guy. And I agree with you, Mitch. I really do agree with you. So they move on over to Kristen and Mitch. So she tells them that the stand-up comedy sex is on pause. And child, let's just move on, honey, because I ain't hitting on nothing. Mitch, on the other hand, he's over there talking about he's happy to say yes on decision day, but Kristen has a long list of demands and does. So then Alexis pipes up and she tries to sway things her way by telling them that Justin wants to crawl into her skin, basically. And, she tried to take him out, but he said it's not his scene. And she's like, not to compare my other relationships, but they were fun. They were spontaneous. Well, why didn't you marry them? Why did you come on this show if they were so fun and spontaneous? Huh? What? Oh, okay. Got nothing. I ain't think so. Back with the men, Justin is telling them what's going on. And Nate is like, going out every weekend, that's weird. It definitely is giving a little weirdo energy, honey, especially when you're an experiment where you only have a couple of weeks. So Mitch was like, I don't think husband or wife should be going out every weekend. They shouldn't, and she knows that. So in the interview, Nate is like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, Alexis does not want this marriage. Now, I don't know her like that, but she rubbed me the wrong way when she was starting messing other people's marriage. She's gossiping, going out every weekend. Like, girl, what is this, college? Nate, please say it louder for the people in the back. You know what, Nate? You growing on me. You growing on me every episode. Nate, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You are growing on me. Moving forward. So Justin tells them, he's like, listen, I don't think she wants me. I don't think she's attracted to me. When I try to kiss her, she just sits there. And see, this is the crazy thing, because on that after party a few weeks ago, she tried to make it seem like it was him that was inadequate. Girl, you don't want to get it popping with him. You just want to run around saying, Justin celibate, Justin celibate. He was like, it's hurtful. I just question her intentions. So then he told them that she told Dr. P that she didn't want to be married to him. Justin, I say cut your losses. She's a social butterfly. You're a wallflower. And if there's no sex or attraction, it's a lost cause. It just is. So then later on that night, honey, because they always got some hidden footage, we hear Justin and Alexis arguing, getting into it as they get into it, about what he was saying when she was blindfolded and about her going out. She was like, yeah, that's the only time that you've ever told your truth. So the producer comes in and Alexis tells her that since they had that meeting with Dr. Pia, things have been different. Of course they've been different. Do you remember what you said? Oh my goodness. So Justin comes in and tells his side, and basically he's saying they got into it. She was throwing things in his face, and then his voice escalated. She was shocked about what he said when she was blindfolded, but yet she wanted to pretend like she didn't want to say anything back. Alexis just needs to grow up. So then he tells production that he doesn't want his wife in the club every weekend, and that is a reasonable request. So she was like, let me just get y'all together, honey, because y'all saying two totally different things. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, who lying and who telling the truth. So they sit down at the table. He's like, I just feel like I'm not wanted. Here go Alexis. Well, what makes you feel that way? Alexis, you're really starting to tick me off. Stop asking stupid questions. What are you talking about? You already know the answer to that question. You know why he feels that way. So he tells her that the most passion that they've had was on the honeymoon. So she's like, well, when we talk, is that not emotional intimacy? Alexis, this man has been celibate, as you would say. You was all with it on night one. Now you hollering about emotional intimacy? Girl, quit playing. Quit playing with me. She's like, because I won't sleep with you. Now we don't have intimacy. He said, no, it's not about you sleeping with me. We don't give off the same energy. Like, I'm attracted to you, but you're not attracted to me. And he feels like he has to force her to even want to be around him. So then she goes back to, well, baby, I have friends and I want to see my friends. Ma'am, your single friends are going to have you single too. Okay? She's like, for you to say I'm not ready for a marriage, I mean, that's your opinion. No, that's what you stated 26 minutes into this episode. So y'all are both saying the same things. Alexis, you are exhausting. Justin, good luck. I am so happy that you did not cry this episode. And it is nice to see you actually standing firm and not letting her gaslight you. Now, Justin got his flaws as well, honey, because I already knew she was not attracted to him, and I knew that things probably weren't going to go the way that he wanted them to go, but at least he ain't letting her run all over him right now, child. And so there's that. She's like, I just thought marriage would be different. He was like what? She was like, I mean, fun. He's like, I mean, I guess we just different. Like, where do we go from here? Child, divorce court, and that's that on that. And that was the end of the episode. Child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. It had a lot of layers to it, honey. It was all kinds of stuff going on. Alexis was getting on my nervous system. I don't know. Child, I felt like a warrior watching Stasha and Nate, honey. Dr. Peel had a perpetual frown on her face, honey, because it's the foolishness of it all. Child, I just don't know. But y'all let me know. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.